It's a very personal film. It couldn't be more personal. What do you think, in generally speaking, brings in documentary such a personal story? What means for a documentary to come with a personal story?
I think generally that it must that documentary movies should be honest and natural and personal. Even if it's not a personal movie that the director is doing about himself, he will ask his protagonist to be personal and to be honest and to be open. So it's just a must that the director will dig sometimes in his own career, in his own themes, dig deeper. But when he's doing the films about something else, he will ask the same honesty and kindness and personal way of acting in front of the camera and the microphones. Because if not, we don't need movies or documentary movies. We can read about it, you know. We can get a list. It's not about actors. It should be natural and personal.
What did your family think from the beginning about this project? Because it was your project in a way.
Okay, this is a small difference between when I dump into a different life of somebody who I don't know. I have to introduce myself, to tell him what I want to do, to make them be aware about the idea that it's going to be a movie. In my own family, it's not, I didn't really thematize it. I didn't say, okay, we are going to do a movie. I just told them that I'm going to shoot it, that the camera is here, but they don't really have to notice it. And after a while, they didn't notice it anyway, even not I, because it was a part of, it was always there. It was within, most of the time I didn't set light or didn't do something. There was no sound main, for example. I didn't use microphone. It was all just integrated microphone of the camera. So we didn't really notice it, and we forgot about the camera.
But how did you explain to your children that it's necessary or to show what?
Yeah, I told them that I really would like to do a film about the theme identity, longing for belonging, and how important it is, because it's important to me, and I don't really know how I will do the movie, if I will use somebody else's story and use my own story for research, or if I use my story. But I would like them to accept it, that I'm just trying to do it as a part of this movie. And of course there were moments or days that they really, really hated it. For example, when we went to Yad Vashem, to the museum, Daniel was so excited and so nervous, and he really shouted and wanted me to close the camera. Or there are some days that he said, close this camera, this stupid camera. But most of the time I even did it. I just closed the camera. And if I didn't, he accepted it.
And their reaction when they saw the end cut of the movie?
Daniel loved it very much. He had the feeling that he was, both of them loved the movie very much. It has also a lot of success in Israel, and it had also in Germany, and they went to the screenings in Israel and Germany. A lot of people they know and friends of them came, and there were very good reactions, and they felt good about it. They are proud about it, and they feel to be understood. And
how many hours of material did you have?
There were about 100 hours.
And find the funds for the film, or that wasn't the money for
The budget?
Yes.
It was about 100,000 euro. I've got from foundations, and the rest I put by myself, because most of the things I did by myself with my own camera, for example, my own cars, my own protagonist. And so I believe that if I had a little bit more money, I could do maybe better, post-production, but it was enough.
Let's talk a little bit about ethics in documentary, generally speaking. What do you think? How much could you go close to the people, to go to the privacy? Where is the limit between? You said that it's good to be honest, but what is the moment when you can influence some people's destiny, and you think about it? It's better to stop. So.
You should not force someone to cry or to be angry and to be emotional in front of a camera. If someone give you the signals that he doesn't like it, you should accept it. It's like raping, It's not. To be honest and to be open with all your emotions, it's like to be naked. And as a documentary filmmaker, you're not supposed to rape someone. So you just have to accept it. But I think that as more gentle you are, as closer the people let you be there, even if they are naked, they trust you and they feel okay with it. It's like a communication with your protagonist.
And talking again about honesty, it's important to tell the truth, but what is the truth in documentary? Whose truth? Your truth? The protagonist's truth? What do you think about this idea with playing with the truth in a way?
I think it's important to be, as a filmmaker, not to have your truth. You must have, you should stay natural. And if you have 2 fronts or 3 fronts in front of your camera, depends what theme you are working on, to show every side as neutral as possible. I don't think that you're supposed to have your own say. Your say is only, this is a situation, and let's try to understand all of them.
Creating observational scenes, this is your style to make documentaries? Or just in these documentaries, the approach was like this?
No, this is absolutely my style to make. I'm always trying to get as close as possible to the people, and sometimes I'm making the camera. Normally I used to work with camera persons, cameraman, camerawoman. I didn't do the camera work by myself, and I drive them crazy because I always wanted to shoot again more and more and a little bit more, until the people really open and let you really in. And it's important. I think it's important to get as close as possible, but just as possible, not to force and not to rape. I don't really need that somebody, when he see my movie, goes out and say 2 sentences. I saw a movie about black girl was raped by 3 men, No, it's not only 1 sentence. It's a mix of feeling, of situations, of levels. It's bizarre with your all sense, with it's to feel it and to see it and to hear it and to smell it. It's not a topic, you know? And when you watch news and reportage, and it should be like the other side, you know, that you say, oh, I saw in the news that something happened, one sentence.
Do you think that there is an audience for this type of documentary, creative observation? So, do you feel that overall in America, in Europe, in Israel, there is an audience interested in this type of film, emotional and creative film?
I think it is. There are people that understand it and appreciate it and are thankful about it, for it. It's just very hard to topic it in a catalog, you know? You can't write in a catalog, we can't really tell you what the film is about because it's about a lot of things. Come over and feel by yourself, you know? So you need, in a catalog, you need also these topics, like the newspaper.
Brief,
yeah.
log line, I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I think that if you let all your senses go and open in this movie, you after it you will be really thankful about it. But I'm sure there are people that. You know, I studied in a very good film school in Munich at the HFF, and I remember the first day in the school, and there are thousands of people trying to go into this school every year, and they take for each discipline only 16. And the first day in the school, they told us that if a lot of people will like our movies, we are in the wrong school, because we don't have to do the movies for the crowd. We don't have to do Schwarzenegger or Jurassic Park, blood and sperma stories. And we have to dig deeper and try to do the other things. And if we come and say, everybody likes our movie, we did the wrong one. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm thinking about it a lot of times when I'm deciding to leave the ending like that or to leave it like that. I'm saying, okay, it will be, maybe less of people will understand it, but it will be the right one. That's what I feel.
And your next project or actual project?
I'm working now about circumstances, about the question of the Jewish and Muslim tradition to cut the, I forgot the English word. It's a movie also about
identity,
about tradition, yeah.
Between the Muslims and the relationship between Jewish and Muslims. So it's also in Israel will be the project. Will also
It's in Germany and Israel. It's I can maybe you say when Jewish or Muslims boys are born, they cut their penis. You know, how do you say circumstances? No.
No, circumcision.
Yeah,
I understand.
and it's a big issue now in Europe because they try to make a new law to forbid it, and it's okay. I also think that it's something that should not be, but the people who's doing it, they really believe that it's important for their tradition, and the question is why it's so hard to separate from tradition. It's like they're going to lose something when they agree that it's not that it's overhauled now. That it's we are living in a new world. That it's very interesting to see how people are, you know, stuck in it and holding it hard only because it's tradition. Yeah.
And this mentality too, a question of mentality too.
Yeah.
Have you seen any Romanian documentaries?
Not yet, but I'm so happy I'm here, and for sure will watch a lot of Romanian documentaries.
And what are your expectations related, I don't know, with Romania? The topics could be interesting for you, the Romanian topics or subjects.
Here, I will look for, you mean?
In generally, about from what you heard about Romania, I don't know, and if it is a subject or a topic which is could be interesting.
There is something about the Romanian diaspora. I would like to say, and it's a very new land for me, the Romanian. So everything is interesting. In Israel, so before I came, I thought, okay, what do I know about Romania? Not so much. Gypsies and and Draculas. I don't know. You know, so it's a lot. It's very, very new, and it's the art, the way making films. I don't know about the way of making films. So I'm very, very curious, and I think I will watch as much as possible.